You know, we're learning more and more in recent years about how mental health is as important as physical health. And coming up on October 10th is World Mental Health Day. There are several local organizations raising awareness on mental health resources in Montreal, and one of those nonprofits is Paradis Urbain. Joining me today to speak about mental health is Devon Reid, Senior Director of Paradis Urbain. Devon, welcome back to Life Unrehearsed.
Hi, Matt. So nice to be back. Thanks for having me here.
Well, thank you, Devon. Big day coming up this week on October 10th. And, you know, part of Paradis Urbain, your mission, films play such an important role with your organization. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Au Contraire Film Festival and the upcoming gala?
Yeah, we're in our 12th annual Au Contraire Film Festival. It was developed 12 years ago to end the stigma of mental health and also advocate for people who are living with mental illness. So we have our festival. It's from the 1st of October till the 30th of October. You can find 15 films online. And then it also ends on the October 28th. We have a gala, which is to raise money for Up House, the psychosocial rehabilitation center for people living with long-term mental health conditions.
You know, this is it's incredible, really, when you think about all the films that have been done. And, of course, this goes year-round, but a big focus in the month of October, ending with your gala on the 28th. And I want to talk a little bit more about your films, because we're not talking necessarily films. These are an hour and a half, 2-hour films. A lot of them are much, much shorter. But why do films play an important role in destigmatizing mental health?
Yeah, I think one of the things is art in general can play a very strong role in destigmatizing mental health. Like you said, some of our films are 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They're wonderful jury-selected films. They're international. We pick them every year. We get about 300 submissions. And I think maybe for a long time, there was more stigmatization of people with mental illness in film using stereotypes. And through these films, what we want to offer is real life stories, that these are just people like you and me. It could be anyone at any time. We're going to be confronted with a mental health issue. And what we're trying to show is these people's lives. And we put them at the center of the films. And they're so wonderful. And like I said, you go online, they're 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So they're terrific films. And I believe that we end the stigma by showing how just everybody could be faced with an issue of mental illness and how these people are resilient and how they deal with these issues on their daily lives.
Listening to Life Unrehearsed, Matt Del Vecchio here, and I'm talking with Devon Reid from Paradis Urbain about mental health ahead of World Mental Health Day on October 10th. So you mentioned the films. How do we go about watching them, Devon? Is it all online?
Yeah, so from October 1st till October 30th, you go to acff.ca, and there'll be a link to our film platform. There's a sliding scale. They start at $10, so it's not very much. We also work with Record, which is a network organization in Montreal, and we provide free films to the members of their organizations, which are all mental health organizations in Montreal. And on the 28th, you can buy a ticket at acff.ca, where we're raising money for Up House, and those tickets are $150 to raise money for Up House and their programs.
That's great. acff.ca. Now, you're literally on the street sometimes getting feedback, and I'd love to get your feedback, Devon, about what you've received from the community regarding how your initiatives have bettered their mental health issues.
Well, I don't know if I'm on the street, but I work with the members sometimes of Up House, our organization, which is for people with long-term mental health conditions. And I just wanted to give a quote from Grant Gellis. He's a long-term member of our organization, and he says, Up House has been a beacon of hope and opportunity, reshaping my identity and guiding me away from defining myself by my mental health challenges. Up House has amplified my adaptive potential, empowering me to break free from the chains of self-definition through mental health struggle. And honestly, some members have told me that Up House has literally saved their lives. We provide community, value, working together, and all that helps to restore a sense of self-value and less isolation, which a lot of people who suffer from mental illness confront in their daily lives.
Talking with Devon Reid from Paradis Urbain here on Life Unrehearsed. I want to talk a little bit more about Up House, just so, Devon, you can give our listeners a perspective. I believe it follows the international clubhouse model. So can you explain what that model is and exactly what Up House is?
Sure. The model was started in 1948 in Fountain House in New York. It's a community-based, non-clinical mental health service that supports and empowers people living with mental illness. And they are on Namur, not very far from the Namur metro station. And basically, it helps people by overcoming their own sense and loss of identity that they've perhaps been confronted with because of their mental illness. So what we do is we look at helping them with their social isolation or social withdrawal, their apathy or absence of self-confidence, and we provide together, because it's member-run, the members partake and make decisions to do with everything in the clubhouse. They're actively participating in every single part of it, whether it's cooking dinners, whether it's making lunches, whether it's our transitional employment program. And through this community, we restore a sense of self and self-confidence and self-worth. And the members do that for each other. And a lot of organizations don't really provide, or in a clinical setting certainly, don't provide what is desperately needed, which is community. And community is an essential part of restoring one's mental health.
You know, we've used and interchanged the word mental health or the term mental health with mental illness. Devon, we were talking off air about how things need to get destigmatized. We're heading in the right direction. We were talking about in our generation, we'll call it the sandwich generation, are getting more accepting of it. We're talking a little bit more. We'll call it the baby boomers. Perhaps it wasn't even talked about in the 50s and 60s. And now our children and their grandchildren, we're hoping that mental illness and mental health is not going to be a bad word. And because we're talking about it, and a lot of the initiatives that you're doing as well, Devon. So can you tell us about raising money for mental health and the importance of doing so?
Yeah, I think organizations, which we call alternative mental health organizations, is terribly important. One, because we just don't have enough access to care in Quebec with all the issues that we're being faced with. So these places are essential in restoring one's sense of self and finding work or rehabilitating in the way that you want to. That's your choice to be rehabilitated. And I think also young people, such as right now, I'm working with some Concordia students. We're working with the Concordia Film Festival to bring films to Concordia. They're much more open in discussing what's going on with their mental health, because I think they are faced with so many mental health issues at the moment. Mm-hmm. And through these films, the films actually open a door. It creates a beautiful way to open a door to a conversation. And just showing these films, and with the help of the Rossi Foundation this year, they give us support to show the films at Concordia and to advertise with young people. It opens up a dialogue. It makes it easier to talk about. And like you said, Matt, when we were younger, nobody was talking about it, honestly, and nobody had anywhere to go to talk about it. So I think they want to talk about it. They want to make it open. And so many people are being faced with mental health and mental illness that it should be something that we can easily talk about without feeling stigmatized or without feeling that we have to hide our truth.
Yeah, we're heading in the right direction, Devon. I want to thank you for coming in here on a Sunday to talk about it. And ahead of World Mental Health Day on October 10th, how can our listeners find out a little bit more about your organization?
Yeah, I think the best way is actually through the website for the Au Contraire Film Festival. There's information about Paradis Urbain and also about Up House. So just go to ACFF, it's FF, Au Contraire Film Festival.ca, and you can find out more about Paradis Urbain. You can also go to uphouse.org. If you or someone you know you think needs Up House, then they are very open. You can go to info@uphouse.org and send them an email, and someone there will follow up with you.
All right, Devon. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Have
right.
a great day. And
you
thank
too.
You.
That's Devon Reid, Senior Director of Paradis Urbain.